I'm here with Dr. Markie Blumer, who used to be my professor for human sexuality when I was in my undergraduate, and I was also her teaching assistant for a semester. Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I am also a licensed mental health counselor. I'm an approved supervisor with the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. I began teaching about human sexuality in 1998 as an assistant at the Northern Arizona University. Starting in the fall 2013, I will be an associate professor at the University of Wisconsin at the Stout location, and that'll be in the Human Development Family Studies program and Marriage and Family Therapy program. For the last 4 years, I've been an assistant professor at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and my PhD is in Human Development and Family Studies with an emphasis in Marriage and Family Therapy from Iowa State University.
So what are the stages of the human sexual response?
Yeah, great question. Actually, that depends on whose stages we're talking about. So Helen Sanger Kaplan came up with a 3-phase cycle of the human sexual response, which included a desire phase, an arousal phase, and then ended with an orgasm phase. Masters and Johnsons came up with a 4-stage model, so a little bit different than Kaplan's model. And their 4-stage model included an excitement phase, a plateau phase, an orgasm phase, and a resolution phase. So really the biggest difference was the resolution phase. In other words, they thought there was something that happened after people reach a plateau or a peak of excitement through orgasm. And that was kind of this refractory period that people go through, where their bodies go back to more of a normative state before arousal occurred. Both of these models are great from a Western point of view. There's nothing wrong with these models. They match human physiology in a pretty normative way. What's problematic about them, however, is not everybody is situated to understand sexuality and sexual response cycles from a Western point of view. In Eastern cultures, there are kind of different ways of conceptualizing sexuality, which would be through more like tantric practices, which doesn't really have like this rigid, here are the phases of sexual response cycle that you must complete in order for it to be successful. So really those practices are more like you might be aroused and then you might kind of take a break and then you might become aroused again. And then you might engage in sexual activity with each other, but rather than having an orgasm be, say, the goal for one person, it might just be a goal for one of the other people involved. One person might just take their time and the other person might be orgasming multiple times, and maybe one partner never orgasms, and that would be considered a great sexual encounter. So it really just depends on where you are on the globe. Like I said, here in Western culture, we have kind of these 2 ways of thinking about sex.